Hey, have you ever wondered how to play this game that we call life? Stay tuned, because in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to really play this game, what the rules of the game are, and why you want to be a player character within this game that we call life. Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? It's your self-awareness life coach, Big Dan, here to help you reclaim your authority, be your true authentic self, and to help you have purpose in life. So, do you really know how to play this game of life, or are you just guessing? You see, I remember when I finished my very last year at high school, being that 17-year-old kid finishing on his last day, walking out the front gates, never having to look back again. And I remember saying to myself, now what? You know, I had no clue as to where or what I was supposed to do next. And there seemed to be this collective silent agreement amongst everyone in terms of how to play this game of life, which was you go to school, so you can get an education, so you can get a job that helps you buy a house, and then you start a family, save your money, and then you retire. And hopefully somewhere in between, you've learned to have some fun, right? And so I remember being that 17-year-old kid, not long out of high school, saying to myself, well, I better get a job because that's what everybody else does. I didn't want to go to university because I still had no clue as to what I wanted to do. And I didn't want to waste any more time or money. So I thought, I'll just try and figure it out as I go. And so like everybody else, off into the workforce I go, picking up jobs, gaining experience, paying my bills, learning about things called fucking tax, being an adult. And so after several years of being within the system, I started to ask myself, is this what life is about? Because deep down inside, I was feeling completely empty and unhappy and unfulfilled with who and where and what I was doing. I was tired of having the same old conversations with friends and family. Hey Dan, what have you been up to? Oh, you know, the same old shit. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. I got tired of hearing my alarm clock going off. At times I didn't want to get out of bed. I was like, fuck that shit. I just want to get up when I want to get up. And so I remember thinking to myself, surely I can't be the only one who feels and thinks this way. And so as I looked around at everybody else, I realized there were so many people who were just like me that were just pretending to know how to play this game. I mean, it's not like they teach you any of this stuff back at school about what the purpose of life is, who you are, why you're here, how to play this game of life, how to feel happy, how to feel fulfilled, how to feel alive. And so for years, I used to think this whole game was evolved around money. I used to think that money would solve all my problems. I used to think that it was all about getting the best education available, so you can go and get the best paying job. Who gives a shit about whether you enjoy it or not? Just go and get that money. Go and chase that dollar. So you can go and buy the flash cars. Go and get the expensive jewelry, the labelled clothing. Go and get the big house with the white picket fence and the green grass. So then you can show all your friends and family that you've got status, that you've got proof, that you've got success and you've made it in life. Right? And then I started to meet people who had acquired large amounts of money in their lifetime, millions of dollars, and yet they were still feeling empty and unfulfilled and unhappy with who and where and what they were doing. I mean, I couldn't believe it. As a young man trying to process, how could anybody be unhappy when you're making millions of dollars a year? I thought that was the whole purpose to this game, to get the money so you could buy everything you want. I used to think, I'll gladly switch places with you. I'll tell you how to spend that fucking money. And so for years I continued to chase the dollar until I got the house, I got the car, the jewelry, the clothes and all the other BS that comes with it. I got to the end of that road and then I found myself asking the exact same question I had asked myself the very last day I finished high school. Now what? And so how can you ever win the game of life if you don't know what the purpose or the goal is? You can't, right? And so what many people try to do is they try to figure it out while it's all happening. They try to go wherever they think the game is going. And then after a while of trying to do it over and over and over again, it gets fucking tough, right? And so then people start to say, well, there is no point to the game. There's no purpose, it just is. You know, you live, you work and you die. I mean, how sad is that shit? So then people start to lose their sense of meaning and drive and become unfulfilled. And they have no quality of life. And then what most people try to do is they try to distract themselves in that very moment. I know because I've been there and I've done that. So what most people might do is they might turn to things such as alcohol, drugs, social media, TV, food, anything, something that can take them away from the game, if only momentarily, to make them feel good in that very moment, to make them feel they've got some form of control, to make up for the fact that they don't have any sense of meaning to life. Now you can't have a sense of meaning unless you have a sense of what the purpose or the goal is to this game of life. And only a very, very small amount of people in this world have managed to figure that out. And so hopefully in today's video, I can help shine a light on all the other pieces to the puzzle to this game that we call life, so that you can play the game however you want to play it, and you can create and live a more balanced lifestyle, whatever that means for you, because that's going to be different for each and every one of us. So if you're excited, then go ahead and comment down below. I'm ready, and let's get on with it. Now, what is the objective to playing this game of life? To give you the short answer, I've broken it down into 4 different categories, which I've labelled in red on the whiteboard. Now, with our time here on Earth, we are all here to experience, we are all here to learn, to grow, and give back. What sort of experience you are currently having right now is going to be heavily influenced by your upbringing as a child. What sort of environment did you grow up in? Was it one that was loving, supportive and caring? Or maybe one that was dysfunctional and full of suffering and pain? Perhaps a combination of the two. I mean, do you really know who you are? How do you go about fulfilling your needs on a day-to-day basis? What are your values? What do you like and dislike? What are your belief systems? What sort of information do you use to stimulate your mind? Is it empowering or disempowering? How have you learned to process your emotions? Did you learn to fully express yourself? Or have you learned to suppress yourself and play small? What sort of skills have you acquired? What sort of habits are you creating for yourself? You see, all these different factors play a huge role in how we go about making our choices on a day-to-day basis, and they play a huge influence on our current experience. I mean, take a good look around the room. Wherever you are, whatever environment you're in, take a good look and see where your choices have led you. And if you like what you see, then continue doing more of that. More power to you. If you don't like what you see, then perhaps it's time to start re-evaluating what sort of choices you've been making up until this point. So if you're not enjoying your current experience in whatever area of your life, which could be your job, your business, your career, your family, your intimate relationship, your social relationships, your relationship with yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever experience that you're not currently enjoying, then you'd have to look and see, are you ticking these other three categories? In whatever role that you're doing, are you continuously learning every single day? Are you applying that knowledge and growing? And are you giving back? Because if you're not ticking those three other boxes, this is going to affect what sort of experience you're having right now. So let's do this for a moment. Imagine an area within your life that's not working for you. Imagine an experience that you feel could be 10 times better. That could be with your business and career, your finances, your social relationships with friends in the community, your relationship with your family, your intimate and romantic relationship, your relationship with yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So take a moment to imagine an area and an experience that you would like to improve right now. So, the first step that we have to take in order to identify why you no longer enjoy whatever experience that you've chosen is we've got to work out what your starting point is. We have to work out where you currently are within this experience and what your role is within it. Because there might have been a time in the past where you may have enjoyed this experience. However, somewhere along the way, something might have changed, you might have changed, which has now changed your perception on how you currently experience things today. Or this could just be a brand new experience for you and you're just not enjoying it from the get-go. Regardless of what that is for you, in order for us to identify what your starting point is, we have to gather feedback. And we can only do this through our observations within the environment. Because sometimes it can be very difficult to identify where you might have come off track, especially if this has been an experience for you that you've been repeating for a very, very long time. And this is where those with a high level of self-awareness, they can identify these circumstances much quicker and be able to course correct much faster than those that are simply unaware. So those with a high level of self-awareness, they're able to observe, gather feedback within their environment, within themselves, and they're able to course correct much faster. You can also get the help and feedback from those around you, the environment, your friends and family, or even those that happen to be a part of this experience. The main thing to remember is that we're only trying to change ourselves. We're only trying to identify exactly where our starting point is, where we are within this experience and what our role is within it. Once we've identified our starting point, we then have a better indication as to what sort of skills and knowledge we need to acquire to be able to adapt and have a more comfortable and enjoyable experience. So, as they say, knowledge is power, right? However, knowledge is only potential power. Applied knowledge is where the true growth and power is. So if you're not applying any of the acquired skills and knowledge that you've obtained, then you're never going to grow as an individual. Now imagine someone who wants to go to the gym, for example, and they want to get big muscles. You could acquire all the knowledge and skills that you want. You could read all the books, watch all the videos, read all the motivational quotes, spend tens of thousands of dollars on all the latest health supplements, gym memberships, gym gear and attire. You could obtain all of this knowledge and skills. However, if you're not willing to take the necessary action and apply all of this knowledge, then you're never going to grow and get those big muscles that you want, right? So as we continue to grow as individuals, as we continue to apply all of the acquired skills and knowledge that we're learning on a daily basis, if we continue to listen to that feedback through our initial experience, we're going to transform the way we actually feel about this experience, not only for ourselves, but for everybody else around us. We can also start to help others by giving back, whether that's through our time, our knowledge, our skills, our experience, our money, our resources, our energy. There are multiple different ways in how we can help others and give back, whether we get paid for it or not. If we feel we're providing enough value for others, we're going to feel fulfilled from the inside out. And that's something that money can't buy. And so for whatever area or experience that you're trying to change for yourself, when you can get that honest feedback, don't bullshit yourself in terms of where you currently are within this experience and what your role is within it, you'll be able to identify what your starting point is. From there, you'll be able to have a better indication of what sort of skills and knowledge you'll need to acquire to be able to adapt to this initial uncomfortable experience. And by only applying this acquired knowledge, will you be able to truly transform yourself and grow as an individual. And to add the icing on top of the cake, or is it the cherry on top of the cake? One or the other. When you can help others by giving back, I guarantee you will change your initial experience that you first had. Now, in some instances, there may be experiences where you've been in for a long time and there's no further room for growth. You've learned everything there is to learn. When you find yourself in that position, if you're unhappy and unfulfilled, then take it as a sign to move on to new and exciting experiences. And so with this game of life that we're all playing, just know that you are the main star. You get to determine what sort of experiences you want to be having within your game, your reality. If you've ever played a role-playing game, and for those that haven't, this is a video game where you get to essentially create your own character in most instances, and you get multiple different choices throughout the entirety of the game, which have a different path and experience depending on the choice you've selected. And so within these role-playing games, you have to try and get your character to traverse through all these different obstacles and challenges that you're faced with. Oftentimes you need to level up your character's experience, their knowledge, their skills, in order to be able to grow and adapt and survive and overcome and solve all these problems and challenges that come your way. And so that your character can save the day and be the hero and help others thrive in life. And so I figure that these role-playing games are very similar to the game of life that we are currently playing right now. Now, what are the rules to this game of life? Well, there are multiple different ways of playing this game, and there is no right or wrong way of playing. There's only an easy way and a hard way. A more enjoyable experience, or one that's full of suffering and pain. The question is, what sort of experience do you want to have? What sort of emotions do you want to experience more of? You see, just like the role-playing games, your choices will always determine what sort of experience you have within your game. That's why I called my business Only by Choice, because your choices determine the reality that you have within your life. Why do you want to be a player character in this game of life? Well, if you're not playing the game, then you're essentially a non-player character, watching the world go round. An NPC, as they call them in video games. You see, instead of playing the game and being the main star, you're busy watching everyone else play theirs. I mean, that's cool and all, but I'll tell you what, you'll have a lot more fun if you play as well. So if you want to take control of the game, you've got to become a game player. Play the game. Don't let the game play you. Let me repeat that. If you want to be in control of the game, you've got to become a game player. Play the game. Don't let the game play you. And remember, your choices determine what type of experience you have in this life. So you've got to be in the game to win it. Now, I was going to elaborate on some of these other points I'd written up on the board here. However, I feel this video has gone on a little longer than I had initially intended. So I guess you could call this a sneak peek for the next video, where I'll dive deeper into how to win this game of life and how to feel truly fulfilled while you're playing it. So, if you found any value in today's video, go ahead and show some love down below. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and click that subscribe button as well so that we can stay connected with one another. And if you're currently struggling while playing this game of life, then reach out to me at onlybychoice@hotmail.com and we could arrange some one-on-one coaching sessions to help get you back in the game, back in control, and enjoying this game that we call life. So as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, only by choice.